All right, we are live, and I forgot to adjust my camera, so let's do that real quick. Looking at the severe weather and the flooding threat for Thursday. Lights on. Just had to look. The LEDs add a different color temperature. Hard to get this. Okay, so on with it. Go. Here's the storm system right, and we have lots of thunderstorm activity. No tornado warnings, mainly just big hail producing thunderstorms here across Oklahoma. Late this morning, you can see a lot of lightning here, plenty of hail reports, some very large hail and this morning, and more severe potential here now in the warm sector across Texas with a couple of warnings around Austin, south of Waco. This is the same storm that'll be projecting out of the southern plain, drawing in more Gulf of Mexico moisture into the next couple of days. It's going to bring a general soaking rain to a good part of the mid-Atlantic, but again, I'm still eyeing where the warm front ends up as we go forward into Thursday evening and to Thursday night, because right along the warm front you can have some enhanced spin, as I've been saying. Although if you don't have storms to interact with that, you don't have anything to really talk about. So it could just be a rain event for the area, but it could also be severe depending on how it times out and how the storms want to organize. More snow in Colorado, and this pattern, I tell you, is just insane. This color palette's also pretty insane. I worked on it today. Let me radar off. See, this is a looks like a unicorn unicorn color palette, but yeah, I wanted something different. I like different color palettes, kind of mix things up, and it really shows the explosiveness of the convection out across Kansas and Oklahoma. You can see where they've got a severe thunderstorm watch in place and the current warnings. You can also see as we zoom it out here, the animation. A bit of a connection here to the subtropical jet stream, but just a lot of energy, a lot of spin in the upper levels here. And we'll overlay the jet stream contours and mid levels. You can see it's an open wave right now that'll be ejecting again as it comes across here from the south, drawing in more moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. We are in the northern stream today across Virginia and a good part of the east as very dry air coming down with this northern branch here. But look at the cold fronts, the old storm systems that we've had over the past week or so now, kind of getting stacked up here in the ocean all the way down through Bahamas there. So it's the cold front and Lenesis here, where they move through and then die off Atlantic. But the genesis is right through here, and again, southern plains. This will be a very active streak of weather here as we go into the weekend. Wanted to show you this is the TREF forecast CAPE blend of different ensembles off the TREF model here. So you can look at short range ensemble forecast. You look at the warm sector almost. See, this is the CAPE. This is where we're looking at the most energy available for thunderstorm activity. You need some CAPE for thunderstorm. So as we look toward Thursday, later tonight into Thursday, that area is going to shift into Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. That'll be the best area for tornado production, severe storm production in terms of not only supercells, but just straight line wind as well. And then looking ahead into Thursday afternoon and evening, the CAPE starts to go up here. Again, this is a blend, so it's not going to be quite as high. I just want you to notice the trend. We start to surge that CAPE right into the Carolinas, but at some point it's going to run right into probably a modified, we call it in situ damming, where rain's going to fall ahead of all this cape, and that will offset the action from the south. In other words, you're going to have a pool of very cool, very stable air. It's a lot of rain and cool air, maybe temperatures struggling to get into the lower 50s at some point in Virginia. And then south of there, you'll be well into the 60s and 70s with thunderstorms and partly sunny skies in between. So, where is the wedge going to be? There's not a lot of, I didn't see a lot of forcing, a ton of it to keep it very far south, especially with the strong wind field out of the south of this thing. But the latest NAM pulls the warm front way down into the Carolina border, North and South Carolina border, not to Virginia, North Carolina. So this one right here, the Shref, is pulling it north through North Carolina into south side Virginia. And the Storm Prediction Center right now kind of has that thinking, and their forecast, the Weather Service offices are on the same page. So that'll be something to watch here. But you can see that would put Southern Virginia in the risk for severe storms, maybe tornadoes late Thursday night, if that is correct. And again, you have to watch the other solutions that are on the cool side as well. I'll show you those. This was the 6Z NAM, and I posted this earlier. Energy Helicity. So our storms come out of Alabama and cause a lot of concern for the folks again across the south and the central Mississippi, Jackson, the Birmingham, the Atlanta, Greenville, Spartanburg, Columbia. Then as we move into, again, it's Thursday night where we're looking at least something there. This was off the 6Z though, okay, going into southern Virginia. You have to watch wherever that warm front is. And then as we move into late Thursday night, or maybe the Richmond area, according to the 6Z NAM run. Now let's look at the new 12Z. Much further south for the same time period. So we were up in Henry County, Virginia. Now we're down south of Charlotte with this. So this would be a rain-cooled, stable air mass with just some moderate rain around. And quite a bit less rain, too, than maybe was once feared. So this will be an interesting trend to see if the NAM keeps up on this trend. It tends to sometimes be very reliable in these situations, and then other times it'll change if it's more than 24 hours out. But we're getting within that 24-hour window now, so maybe pulling back a bit on this here, and that would be good news for several folks. However, I do want to mention that on YouTube, I've got more of a regional audience, and what's good news for Virginia may be bad news here where the front ends up, because you get a lot of spin here, maybe North Carolina and South Carolina into Georgia and Alabama once again. UK Met shows a very similar setup here. You're going to look at the convection, it's going to scream at you here on the screen. Scream on the screen. This is late tonight, and it's primarily the Arklatex here, Red River Valley down through Louisiana, Shreveport, Houston. We're looking at the severe weather, heavy rain. The low moves in the northern Arkansas. We've got rain, just a general rain right now, coming in for Thursday morning for a good part of Southwest Virginia, much of Kentucky and Tennessee. Then we're looking at thunderstorm activity picked up by the model here through the southern states here, the Gulf Coast. Again, these are this is a model that's not going to really focus in on the exact placement of storms, just going to give you an idea. But Mobile once again, and Birmingham, Augusta, Georgia, southern Georgia, that area, Albany could be begun for some very heavy storms and severe storms here by Thursday afternoon. Rain continues to push in even across Pennsylvania with this by Thursday at 8 p.m. We've got the low up around Louisville, Kentucky, and more showers and thunderstorms. A lot of these will be severe near the Gulf Coast, Panhandle of Florida, Panama City. Then we move ahead in the time period where we're really going to watch this here in Virginia, see if that, again, warm sector can get into Southside Virginia. The UK Met from last night does have it. At least that's showing up as convection, if you ask me. And you're going into the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina, some very heavy rains. So again, two main things I'll be watching. heavy rain because the ground's just so saturated through a good part of the south and going into the mid-Atlantic as well. We're in the slight risk of excessive rainfall for Thursday and the Thursday night, and then the rotation that may come with that warm front. How far? We've got another one on its heels as quick as this says goodbye for us on Friday, and we may have some lingering clouds around, especially first half of Friday if you're watching in Virginia. But then looking in the Saturday, another one comes digging down here. Now, some of the modeling is less aggressive with this getting far south, so you may notice some lighter precip amounts in some modeling if you're an avid weather follower. Farther north this is, the less impactful it will be, the upper level. So if it's a upper level system that can get down across our area, it would draw more moisture and across the region. So we'll watch that for you very carefully. Here's how it looks on the surface as we go through the rest of today. All the severe weather would be again out to the west, and then this is the Weather Prediction Center here showing it Thursday. We've got just a general rain over the area. Warm front is down to the south of us. And by the time we go into Thursday evening, notice where they've got the hatched thunderstorm areas here, and that would look likely across West Virginia. I'm in total agreement with this. But again, we'll see if the new NAM has any play in this official forecast, because this was put out before the new 12Z NAM came out just a little while ago. But it has up the Martinsville and Stewart, Patrick County, most of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, just about all of that area under a severe. Then as we go into Friday morning, again, some lingering clouds around. The front sweeps through. If you're watching in the south, it looks like that warm front's going to come very close to Jackson, Mississippi. And then as we go through Louisiana as well, and the southern Georgia there. And that warm front lifts very quickly to the north here. Again, if you're in the upstate of South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg, and then down through Clemson, down through Atlanta, that's the area I would keep a very close eye on. Wilmington as well, Columbia, Myrtle Beach, those areas need to be on guard Thursday night. Then for Saturday, again, a very similar track here, maybe a little less moisture to work with. I don't know. They've got it pretty far south on the WPC, as you see here. At some point Saturday and a Saturday night, a repeat performance for some. And again, we'll have to watch if there are individual storms they could rotate across the area. This is the Euro. And anywhere that's highlighted is probably just the warm sector of the storm, except for this wraparound stuff here. As we advance it here, see that Cape gets pulled up in southeast Texas, Louisiana tonight, going into Thursday. And it's got the Cape actually getting into southwest Virginia. So any Cape would indicate enough instability. This is surface Cape, by the way. It's got it reaching well into the Old Dominion. So it doesn't have the warm front nearly as far south as the NAM does. So that would be a more severe scenario. And then as you see here, we keep the Cape in the Gulf of Mexico. So that air mass isn't going to go very far before it gets tugged back to the north here coming up for the weekend on Saturday, going in Saturday night. Just very, very small amounts of Cape, but a very large amount of wind and wind shear, wind energy. That's going to make your significant tornado parameter higher and all that stuff a lot higher up. Upper level wind, bar wind speed. We'll reverse our time here. Again, this is tonight, so the highest low-level jet winds are way down here where we've got 50 to 60 mile per hour, even 70 mile per hour winds, 5,000. Then that moves in from the south very quickly throughout the day on Thursday. So we'll have a lot of wind energy, the potential for some damaging straight line winds in here as well as we go with time. Our convective outlook from the SPC, I wanted to show you the bunny rabbit is still there for today. You can see the risk here across the Arklatex. And as we go into day 2, they've nudged it a bit further north to the Virginia-North Carolina line on the marginal risk. The slight risk gets up to Charlotte and through northeast North Carolina, and then the enhanced risk here once again for the poor folks in the south, from Atlanta south, Birmingham south, down through much of the Panhandle Carolina. Here comes our Saturday system, already showing up Friday as a slight marginal risk and general thunderstorm risk out across the plains. So I'll have more updates as we get closer, but yeah, another severe weather, and now we've got a new tornado watch as I've been on the air here in Texas and Louisiana. Stay safe, everyone.